and your host today with Franchise Talk. Today we're on with Chris from 360 Painting, which is an awesome franchise. If you've ever seen, if you've ever looked at industries in franchising that are primarily service-based, you're looking at good first opportunities and great opportunities to step into franchises or any business for the first time because of the leverage that they have. I mean, low hurdles to entry, a great ROI structure. You're looking at really stepping into a solid business frame with, you know, in an industries that have gigantic income frames. You're looking at painting alone being a $300 billion industry. So without further ado, here's Chris. Hey, Chris, introduce yourself, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Alex. That was a great introduction, and it sounds like you did all the work for me. So I guess with that, let's start signing. So like I said, a great introduction, and the painting business is phenomenal. The thing I like about it the most, it's like a Ferrari engine in what looks like an old pickup truck. I mean, once you look under the hood, this thing moves. Amazing. Most people don't realize that, all tucked in a lowly painting business. We'll chat about that later. So my background, I was in the world of finance and got to the point where I really just hated it and really despised, maybe a tough word. Anyway, I didn't really care for that industry because I think it's very one-sided and it's not the client, it's not sided to the client. And that really bothered me. So I did a 180 and started a window cleaning company with a partner of mine here in the Denver area, not a franchise, had no clue what I was doing. Heck, I didn't even know how to clean a window when I first started, right? I'd just go door to door, knock, knock, knock. Hey, guess what? I just happen to have some time today. Can I clean your windows? And so we started, you know, at the very bottom, worked our way up to the point where we finally kind of got the game figured out and covered the entire Metro Denver market. So built a pretty good business, managers, all that, multiple crews, all that working for us. So understood the service business, but gosh, I wasted a lot of time and a lot of money when I could have, started a window cleaning or joined a window cleaning franchise. They would have given me the book, they would have given me the training, and I would have got it right the first time, which really led me to the franchise world. And that is essentially where I started. We, partner and I, got the window cleaning business big enough where I actually didn't have to do any work. In fact, I went up and lived at the ski resort for the summer while the guys were down here cleaning windows. I'd come down once a week, make sure my managers were in good shape and had everything they needed, and then I'd turn around and head right back up the mountain. So it provided a really good opportunity to move into the franchise world, which is where I've been now for a couple of years. Absolutely love it. I think it is the perfect model for people that want to start their own business, but need some hand-holding and don't want to go at it alone. And consequently, people like Alex to be able to guide you to the correct franchise, because let's be honest, not everybody is built for running a painting franchise. I'm the first one to tell you that. There are other businesses out there that may be better suited for you. But anyway, we'll give this one a go and see what happens.
Sweet. That's good to hear, Chris.
I come up for air.
Right? But no, this is what it is. And what the hell happened to your eye, man? Looks like somebody got in a fight.
I have no idea. All of a sudden, I guess because I knew I was going to be live on the internet world, I started rubbing it. Looks like I got stung by a bee or something. But I thought it was better to do this and just have a patch or something. Everybody'd stare at that. So.
There you go. At least it give a little bit of distraction there. But sure. No, man,
I'll just blur it.
Oh, right.
Like that you can't see.
Nah. But overall, this is something that I got into a long time ago because, and you knew when I first got into it, I was in a lot better shape. But it's a sign of a veteran right there. Why? Well, I'm a little overweight. I got a short haircut. But that's just an overview of my my experience in transitioning the military. I've been parked behind my desk. But you know what? Not all businesses are like that, and that's kind of the cool part to it. There's so many franchises. Me and Chris were talking about this. There's so many franchises, so many different business models out there to choose from that have already done this, have already optimized and created a way for you to pick and choose what kind of business you get into, what kind of lifestyle that you're going to have, and how this is going to happen, how this is going to work, and already have a structure as for how much money it's going to cost you, and just about, mitigating as much risk as possible by stepping into it. That's what I really got. That's what I really got turned on to when I was in Afghanistan 2 years ago. Trying to find my way out of the military. It makes for a hell of a life transition. I'll tell you that right now.
I'm sure it does.
There's not much you can do, but other than attempt to try and guide people through the process of really seeing the value in what is out there and how it can help them. That's the hardest part, because you can drown in a sea of labels, and that better than I do. You can drown in a sea of labels online, and you will go nowhere. We were just talking about that a little bit ago. But Chris, one of the things that I wanted to ask you, stepping into this, what is unique about Painting 360? What is it? What does it look like to own one of these things?
So what I like to do, and I'll certainly answer the question, but I'm gonna take the long way around the block here. Is I hate starting out saying, let's look at a painting business, because right away, it's not sexy at all, which is great, because not that many people look at it. They don't give it a second thought, because who wants to own a painting company? Which, in the words of Warren Buffett here, I've got this note on my computer that says, dull companies with steady earnings growth may not make for stimulating cocktail chatter, but over the long haul makes the best investment. Which is, it's basically saying the best business that you can run or own or invest in our case own, is something that's tried and true. It's boring, it's going to work. There's nothing secretive or fancy or cutting edge, even though we can do some pretty cool things with paint. But the reality is, it's like you're hitting doubles and singles all day long. Occasionally you get a home run, but I mean, you'll get work essentially from day one when you start with this, which not all businesses can say that. It's such a big industry and necessary for so many people. You don't have to go through an education process of why you need paint. People just know if you say you're a painter, they know what you do. You put paint on a wall. There's nothing secretive about it. They come looking for you. I could imagine that if you were a cupcake store, you've got to really push that, hey, you need cupcakes instead of a birthday cake or an ice cream cone or something like that. It's very competitive. There's no alternative to paint. So it's a slow pitch right down the middle. It's a good stuff, great business. One thing that I look for, and I guess full disclosure, I'm sold on the service business. I love it for several reasons, and painting is included in this. There's a couple others as well that I'm sure you can figure out. But as it go through in my mind, the components of a perfect franchise, and I'm just going to list them because it just makes more sense. So low startup cost, right? High profit margins, recession resistant, passive to semi-passive. In other words, you can hire a manager to run the business for you. It's not your name, on the shingle, and that's what people are buying. Flexibility. You can still have a life, take weekends off, go on vacation, whatever you need. You don't have to open the store every day if you don't want to. Low overhead, low to zero accounts receivable. As soon as that paint dries, they say you did a great job, you get a check, you go to the bank. Reoccurring income. People need more service than just one time. Old banker hours, right? 9 to 5. There's no emergency painting that needs to be done. Little competition. In this business, there's a lot of competition. The great thing about it is they're all very unsophisticated. I mean, we're a technology company that puts paint on a wall when you really get to look at what this business is. Great market potential, huge market, minimally labor intensive. In this case, if you get a job, we have a subcontractor that goes and does the work. So you don't have a big payroll that you have to make every week. It's all based on demand. Limited inventory, right? You get a job, you go to the paint store, you pick up a bucket of paint, and you go put it on the wall. Your inventory's gone. You don't save anything. Non-seasonable, and then scalability. You can build a huge painting business with one territory instead of brick and mortar businesses where you have to open multiple territories or multiple shops in order to make a reasonable income. So everything really keeps the business streamlined. You spend 90% of your dollar on revenue generating activities. That's why I love the business as a whole. If you want to talk about 360 in particular, 2 full weeks of training, 1 week of classroom training. The second week would be shadowing one of our existing franchise partners. So being able to actually see what happens, do estimates with them, see how the interaction with the clients are. We have a full service call and dispatch center. So when somebody calls in to your local number, it goes straight to our call center. Call center will take the call and book that estimate for you, because that's what 90% of the calls are anyway. They'll book that estimate for you on your calendar. You just show up and knock on the door and say, hey, I understand you have this project. Why don't you show me what you have there? Large territories versus competitors, 30 to 50% bigger than other painting companies out there. So there's plenty of room to grow. We've got a great software package, and really, to be honest with you, all high quality franchise businesses, they've got a software package. We've certainly done quite a bit of customization, but what it allows you to do is put in as few variables as possible and get right back to talking to your prospect, so you don't get lost in the software. A very fragmented industry. There's no really dominant player in the business, so it's very easy for you to attract new clients. And again, the competition is very unsophisticated. It's usually some guy in a van that says he's a painter. That's what probably 80% of the competition is out there. And we're going to come across as polished as possible, as professional as possible, and give that client every reason to use us that you can possibly imagine. So, logoed material, polished marketing material, a great customer experience, great reviews online, everything we can do to instill confidence in the end user that we're the right company to go with. It works. It's why the franchise painting businesses are gobbling up the work that's out there.
Hey, most of the people that I've seen or talked to, it's like, their first reaction, I don't
kidding
think
me? A painting business?
painting business.
Come on, I'm better than that.
Come on, I don't want to paint anything. Like, no, you idiot. Right. Come on. You're not picking up a paintbrush. You're having other people pick up paintbrushes. There's a saying that I tell my daughters almost every night. My mentor told me this. And I feel good about saying this too, because he's rich. He's pretty well off. But he told me, he's like, you know what? You want to get rich and stay rich? I was like, yeah. Put the shovel in the other guy's hand.
Heck yeah, you can only operate one shovel at a time.
That's right. That is right.
What? If you buy the shovel, you can keep handing them off. You can dig more holes than you know what to do with.
And that's it, man. I'm like, a painting business. Think about this for a second. How expensive is paint? All right?
Not very.
Expensive is labor. But you know what? How expensive is organizing labor and logistics? Expensive as hell. It's expensive as hell. And that's where you guys come in at. That's what I see. For all of you guys who are first timers, and I'm going to get around to you guys who want to own large territories, master franchises, all that other stuff. I'm going to get to that in a second. And if you are interested in that, just fast forward through this. But the biggest thing is for you guys who are thinking about the first business that you want to own. Think about this: scalability. Right now, you're probably like, well, man, it's hard for me to just own one business or even think about owning one business. When you get your first one, it's going to be tough to think about, okay, well, how many different businesses can I own? Because this is fun and it's a lot of money. So Scalability is important with a franchise because, and what he was talking about is about exclusive territories, which means you're not competing with other people in the same territory. You're not competing with the same people in the same franchise. You are essentially making yourself available and growing and expanding your business within the territories that they have authorized you or you've purchased.
Yep.
Essentially, those territories can expand or contract or whatever. It just depends on where you're at in the country. But overall, based on the marketing, based on the markets that you see, based on your local market, where you want to put a business, that's what he's talking about. He's talking about some things that franchises sometimes struggle with, but service-based industries do very well with. And the fact that these guys generate leads for you is crazy because there is a lot of call, there is a lot of demand. They help you with this stuff, right?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
Chris, you guys have a national marketing campaign, right? You guys have a royalty fee?
So I'd say it's more local, territory specific. In other words, we're not going to spend the money doing a nationwide television campaign that airs after, NBC Nightly News or something like that. It's very targeted. So what you find is because of the technological age that we're in now, you can be laser focused on an area. Let's take like a Google AdWords campaign, right? So you can only show that to people inside your territory if you want, or you can do a mailing. If you want to do a physical mailing, you could do that to only people in one postal route if you wanted to. So again, laser focus. In fact, we actually work with a company. This is, I don't know, it used to be creepy. Now it's only borderline creepy. So you could give them, I wouldn't know what to do with it. You give this company a list of physical addresses like 123 Main Street, 1234 Main Street, 56, so on. They can match that physical address to the associated computer's IP address and deliver targeted advertising banner ads to everybody in that list just based off of a street address. So as we go through and talk about a very focused marketing campaign, let's say you just get started. The last thing you want to do is blow all your money trying to do one marketing piece over the whole town. So what we would encourage you to do is, okay, you get a job on Main Street or 123 Main Street, right? So your guys are out there. They've got the 360 painting shirts on, the truck's out there, the logo, yard signs out there. We'll have the guys start out, very first thing, put out some door hangers, that say, we're working in the area, give me a call and you save 10% or something of that nature. So there's a call to action. They see your logo. They've driven by. They've seen your logo. They get home. There's a door hanger. They've seen your logo. They open up the mailbox. As I mentioned, everybody in that postal route would get a hard, 8.5 by 11 hard card marketing piece that would say, again, 10% off or working in your neighborhood or whatever the marketing message you would have. So now they've got the mail. They've seen your logo probably 5 times, and they have not even in the door yet. They finally get home. They put all this stuff in a pile because they're, all they want to do is see what's going on Facebook or something like that. Check their email, and they turn on their computer, and what do you know? 360 painting banner ads pop up because they're within that physical address spectrum. So. Yes. I mean, that's all out of a painting company. And Pete the painter, our guy that just runs a painting, the truck, and it's him and his buddies that are doing it.
How expensive
they don't do that. No. They paint and then they just sit and wait for another job. They run up to Sherwin-Williams paint store and say, hey, who's got work? Who's got work? I'm looking for work. I don't have anything to do this week. That's right. We're the fishers, man. We get out there and we're the ones that are getting the work. And we take that work and then we give it to the guys that don't have the work. What they want to do, the painters want to paint. They do a great job at painting. They do a lousy job at running a business. And we do a great job at running a business, and we can identify a lousy paint job. But we're not going to get up there on a ladder and paint. No, we're not doing that. That's not what we do. Our job is to be excellent business owners. And with a service business, you can do that. Again, it's revenue-generating activities that you're going to work on. You're going to manage the marketing. You're going to get out there, and interact with the clients, find out what their problem is, why they've called you out there. What do they need painted? And you provide them a solution. Here it is. And here's why you go with us. We're the top rated company in town. You can tell by all our reviews on Google, on Angie's List, on Home Advisor, on Yelp, and so on. Why wouldn't you use us? We've given a great experience to hundreds of other people. Why wouldn't we do it for you? Obviously, everything's in line. They're happy. Let's go.
Yeah.
Here's your solution. I can do it. And I don't want to belittle it and say it's that easy, but it's not that much harder.
Yeah. Well, you hit the nail right on the head, man. You would be surprised, and especially you guys who don't own a business yet, who are going to, are watching this and, rolling through it. You're looking at expending a lot of time, energy, and capital.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to perfect, trying to market, trying to engage. And you find that, a lot of people make mistakes in that area, big mistakes that essentially can make or break a company. And that's why a lot of franchises do pretty well, is because they move forward in a very methodical manner, and they have the assets. They have full-time people cranking on this stuff. That's where that's where your money's going.
But the reality is they're selling marketing, and we know it works. We'll tell you where to go. We'll say, we want to save your money. We want you to spend it in the right places. So, that's part of the franchise experience is we've already made the mistakes. Just learn from it. We'll tell you what to do. So we take a lot of the guesswork out.
I know. And that's what I love about this. And that's what I love about this stuff for veterans, just in general. Because my goals have been, not just for veterans, but I've worked with teachers. I've worked with guys from corporate America. Guys, making a transition is just a life change. I mean, it's tough. It's a pain in the butt. But, if you're going to do it, you do it the right way. You do it calculated. That way you're not hurting. And God, man, it's more veterans just realize, hey, yeah, this isn't as sexy as what you used to do. And you look at the stuff behind me, that's what we used to do. That's what you used to do, guys. Now you've got to figure on making dollars is what's going to equate to success, comfort, toys. That's what it's going to equate to. And essentially your retirement, your kids, your family, your house, your car. Oh yeah. It's dollars, man. And if you employ people, you're continuing leadership in your community. And I like to give a little bit of prep talk to a lot of veterans that are out there, because I know E5s like myself who've come out of the military, started companies, and are doing very well. You're talking millionaires. And then you have very, very senior leaders who have led thousands of troops downrange into Iraq and Afghanistan. These guys get out and fall flat on their face. Why?
They think they know it all.
Well, no. I have boiled it down to, I think, a challenge. They have either forgotten or don't know how to pursue a challenge like they used to. I wouldn't even say complacency. Is very, very professional people.
Have the answers.
Very professional people. But I tell you what, though, I in my own transition, I worked with I was networking with a full bird colonel. She was an 06. And you know what? She was 2 weeks away from getting out of the military, and did not have an idea as to what she was going to do. And retirement does not, no matter what level you're at, except for the very highest, your retirement is not going to cover your standard of living for very long. It's not going to happen. So what I talk about is essentially, look, you guys get nervous. Everybody gets nervous. Everybody's going to have a shakes. It's a plunge. It's almost like a marriage. But
heck, I was nervous before we got on this call. you just do it anyway.
Look at your eye.
No, that's right. Yeah, here's my national debut, and I got pink eye or something.
That's all right. That's all right. Drink water. You'll be fine.
I splashed water on it earlier. Didn't do anything. It's been water.
But if you can step forward, or you can take the next step, if you're not challenging yourself, if you're not motivating yourself, and this is the civilians too. I see so many complacent or pissed off in their job. How long is it going to take? And this is what I see. How long is it going to take for you to get beaten down, and make money and make somebody else wealthy, how many years, how many times you can get fired, how many times you get laid off, how many times are you going to get, how many times has this got to happen before you go, you know what, I should probably just take my years of experience and work for myself? And who's going to show you how to do that? Franchises are that tool. That is what we try and get across. That's what I've been trying to get across to a lot of troops, man. At the end of the day. But I'll tell you what though, for royalty rates. Yeah, go ahead.
You got to make a decision. That's what it comes down to. That's what so many people won't do. They won't make a decision.
Yep.
Leaders make a decision and they run with it.
Yep. And that's what we're trained with a lot of the time in the military. And I know corporate people are trained that way because I know a ton of them, and they are just as aggressive. So it's just a matter of making a decision, organizing a plan, and following through. And that's what we're here for, as franchise brokers anyway. I'm a franchise guy. That's what I keep getting called anyway. Every time I go on some live stream or every time I go into a chat room, it's like, hey,
perfect.
Talk to the franchise guy over here. I'm like, oh, God, damn, that's a hell of a title. But that long and the short of it, that's what we do. We talk to you about it because we're kind of your partners in crime when you're trying to go through and make those decisions. All right. With the biggest thing is you got to realize the trade-off in royalties. Chris, what is the royalty rate for 360? What is the royalty rate? I know it's got to be around the average.
Yeah, it is. 6% is the royalty.
Okay.
We've got a 2% ad fund, and then the call center is going to run another 1.5%.
Okay. So
just call it 10%.
Yeah, just flat 10%. And you know what? Typically, guys, what I've seen is that 10% is usually really hard to run on because you're not going to get, what a lot of aggressive folks like in your return on investment. However, what I'm telling you is where they are focusing your dollars is.
Oh, yeah. It's not like we're taking 10% and putting it in our pocket.
Yeah, no. That's what that is what it goes to. It is going towards advertising. That's what we just talked about it forever. You are basically
use that money to make sure you do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, right.
You know, the 1.5% for a call center, we don't make any money on that.
Yeah.
That is to make sure that your phone is answered so you can focus on customers.
Yep. And that's
it's
key.
The right thing. That was the biggest game changer in my business back in the day, is when I decided that I was going to take the plunge. I was going to hire somebody to do the estimates for me and answer my phone. All of a sudden, I could work on higher order activities. I could go and work on bigger sales. I could help grow the business, provide more strategic direction, and quite frankly, I also went up and lived at the ski resort for the summer.
There you go.
It goes towards generating revenue. That's it.
Yep.
Take that overhead that you normally spend on a warehouse or whatever it is. Great, $2,000 a month. Bam, right into a marketing campaign that's generating leads and generating money for you. Having a warehouse where you sit in there just so you're not at home, that doesn't make any money.
No.
Maybe if you were an ice cream shop, you wouldn't run that out of your home. But that's why I like the service business. That's low overhead. You got to keep that cash. Cash is king in these businesses. Everything you can do to keep your capital, you do that. You need to be very strategic at deploying your capital. And if you can put it straight into marketing, that's generating a return right away. If you're buying copiers and pens and I don't know, office space and inventory and shelving and all that stuff, man, that's just sitting on the walls. That's a waste of capital. Send it out there and get some jobs coming back out of it. That's what I see. That's why I like service business.
Yeah. If you're looking with 360, and I want to make sure that we cover this. What are you looking at as far as a break even? I know we've talked about it. What's the light at the end of the tunnel? What is it going to take to get you to break even, cash flow in your pocket?
All right. So, it's a tricky question. What is break even? Depends on how much you've put out there. To where you're cash flow positive, let's discount any upfront investment that you've made, franchise fee, that sort of thing. You're going to be cash flow positive, right after your first couple of jobs, probably. You don't, let's say we're requiring that you spend about $2,500 a month in marketing. Okay, so that's going to be 10 jobs. But it's not linear. That's the thing. It's just hard to say what's a break even. It's very quick. I can tell you this. Let me give you a quick example. So we've got a guy that started really, he started in October, but really didn't get started until the first of the year, until the first of this year, call it January 1st. All right, he's going to do $800,000 in revenue this year. Having other people put paint on the wall, you know what he's going to put in his pocket? Over $150,000. I mean, that's the exception. I should probably not lead with that, but that's the reality for people that can follow directions. And you know what we say? Look, when we tell Ryan to do something, he just does it. He listens. He doesn't argue. Doesn't think he knows better. Doesn't pull back when things are a little bit slower. He just goes. And quite honestly, that's why he's done so well in his first year. And other guys are doing really well also. Again, I think that's the exception. We look for, our expectations is that you're going to do $250,000, $250,000 at the end of your first year. And it can break it down at a high level. I'll go down as far as gross profit goes. Expect 40 to 50% gross margins. So you take labor, you take paint out of the material or material out of the equation, and you're left with 40 or 50% of the revenue to run your business. I mean, these are great margins. You could put all that in your pocket if you wanted to. I mean, you'd never grow your business, but
Mm-hmm. And the fact that you're working on the business is not in the business is key, because it's all about lifestyle, and I'm assuming it's very flexible because of that, right?
Oh, sure. I mean, if you don't want to show up a day, you just don't. We're answering the phones. You would just put on your calendar that you're not available on Tuesday, and then you go hang out with your daughters all day. Pull them out of school and go eat as much ice cream as you can, and whatever you want. Nobody knows. It's your call. You don't have to pay. It's not about. I got to stress. It's just not about making as much money as humanly possible. Yeah. I mean, we want to make great money, and it's guys are doing it every day, but you want to enjoy your life too. And being able to play hooky every once in a while, that's why you're the boss.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do with my daughters too. It's like I've got two little girls, and
sure.
I mean, even you might have even seen them on a couple of these episodes, like running behind here trying to make faces in the camera. Still little, I still want to spend time with them. But that's
sure.
why I got out of the Army. And I'm assuming, because I've talked to so many different corporate reps, I've talked to teachers, I've talked to, guys coming out of, different service industries, backgrounds, construction, that's truck drivers. Oh my God. Talk about never being home.
Yeah.
Talked to one guy, all he wanted to do was cut his own grass. All he wanted to do.
Just break it down and keep it simple.
That's it. And that's all I wanted to do coming back home from Afghanistan, is I just wanted to be
seagrass.
Oh, seagrass, yeah. But the biggest thing was just come home and be with my family. And now I'm Mr. Mom. Crazy. Yeah, awesome. But I've been able to take, and I like to fish, so I had to come back to Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
But that's one of the reasons you got to be a business owner. That's one of the reasons why I looked at being a business owner, because everyone I ever saw successful said, I own fill in the blank. And
absolutely.
And that's the ticket. That's the key to it. And now I take my daughters fishing, and I'll do it even during the weekdays when they get out of school. Yep. A lot of corporate guys I've noticed like painting businesses for that reason, because a lot of the guys from corporate have been traveling around, missing life events, missing family events, and they hate it. So they step into things like this. Now, I want to kind of finish this off, man.
Sure.
I want to talk about your industry a little bit.
Okay.
All right. The painting industry overall, I know it's huge. Sure. It's been huge, and it keeps increasing. Anybody,
people keep building things, it's going to keep getting bigger.
You keep building stuff, you got to put paint on it.
That's right. Paint is a protective as well. It's not just for pretty colors. I mean, it is the first layer, well, maybe second layer of defense if you call your roof the first layer, but the first or second layer of defense.
But there are also some other painting companies out there too. What makes 360 Painting unique, and how do you work with guys that come into the system? How do you work with them?
So I think the one thing that makes us the most different is our culture. Okay, so it's privately held. The CEO of the company, Paul Flick, works individually with all of the franchise partners. He knows everybody, visits everybody. You really get that family feeling, the feeling that somebody cares. You know, we're not a private equity company. We're not a publicly traded company. I think once you get into those bigger structures, that you start having more stakeholders and more pressure to increase shareholder value. And it doesn't necessarily trickle down to the franchise partner level, right? It's how can I get more money out of a franchise partner, and not how can I help my franchise partner meet their goals and create the business that they want. So I think that given that flexibility makes us quite a bit different. The best validation in the franchise world right now, I'll hands down say that. You know, as you go through and call our franchise partners, they're extremely happy with the system, the training that's provided, the support that's provided, the ability to just pick up the phone and have the president of the company, the CEO of the company, listen to you and work through whatever issues may be coming up. And all of that. So there's that kind of touchy-feely, kind of feel-good component of it. But at the end of the day, it's a well-oiled machine as well. So we're going to be just as competitive from a technological standpoint as any other painting franchise and probably any other service company out there. So
yeah,
hopefully that answers the question.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's culture in my mind. That's what makes the biggest difference. Here's something that'll demonstrate that. So we have an annual convention, right, every year. This year we're going down to Cancun, so it makes it a little bit easier to get away, at least for those of us that get snow in the middle of January. So we're going down to Cancun for our annual convention. We've got on the books right now 56 franchise partners. We've got over 120 people that are coming down to the convention. It's like every franchise partner out there wants to be part of the group. I don't know of any other system that can say that. I mean, that's spouses, kids. It's just a great, almost, it's just a family event almost. Now we learn a lot and it's going to be awesome. But so is being able to cut out of work for a week and hang out with your kids on the beach. So it's a big family is really the best way to look at it. And that speaks volumes for the happiness of, the franchise partners. So,
yeah. I mean, definitely, it's a way to get out, a way to release, a way to connect with others, and it's a good communication structure too. To have that communication. Communication is key.
Oh yeah, we've got some things coming out at this convention. They're going to knock their socks off. Next year is going to be awesome. I can't wait. Can't wait to see the look on their faces when we announce some of the initiatives that are going to take place next year. I mean,
you invite brokers to your
stuff. Convention? I already told you place 3 of them. I'll send you a ticket. You must have been out fishing with your daughters that day.
Probably.
All right. So, next year, send some folks our way, and I'll get tickets for you guys. You can come down to convention with us.
Oh man, well you got a lot to compete with, man. We've got several other brands we got coming up. We've got some other franchise talk shows to do. We've got several brands coming up. And you know what? Each of them are unique, and each of them have their own place. And each of them have their own people they're searching for. So if you could give me a description of who you're looking for in what kind of franchisee you're looking for, who needs to be that person to step into this group of yours. If you can give me an overview of that, that's going to help not only me, but that's going to help out these guys as well. So if you give me the other,
I keep it simple. I want people that are teachable. We've got the answers here, right? We need people that are ready to learn, people that I don't have to show up at 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning and shake them to get out of bed. I need self-starters. If you can get out of bed and commit to working hard every day and be an open book to learning, you're our guy. If you know it all already, talk to somebody else. I don't want you.
That's fair enough, man. And that's why franchises are very, very good.
Yep.
And we can get funded very easily because you have a proven system, even if somebody is switching industries. A guy coming out of finance, stepping into a painting business is not likely to get financed for a private painting business.
Nope.
A guy stepping into a franchise is likely to.
Nobody. There was one person in our system right now that comes from a painting background that owned a painting business and realized he couldn't do it on his own, so he rebranded his company and now is knocking it out of the park with us. That's it. It's people that are teachable. I mean, you can learn specs on painting and paint. That's not hard to learn. What we can't teach you is character. So we can't teach you to work hard. Like, you got to come hungry already. And whatever that motivation is to be successful, you come with your belly, with the fire in your belly, man, we'll get you to where you want to go.
Yeah. And appreciate your time. Appreciate you hopping on. But there's another thing I want to cover. I promised I would. So we want to make this happen. Any kind of large scale deals, executive sizes, are you looking to do master franchising or area development? Can you do that?
Yeah, so we can, given the right scenario. So for instance, California would probably be a great place for a master franchise. Any place with really high density, because the reality is that a 1 unit territory is pretty big. Okay, so you can make a pretty good go at it with just one territory. For the right person, it's going to be the right person, and there's going to be some more stringent metrics. So we actually do have 2 master territories right now, and I'll just leave it at that. We've got 2 master territories.
Okay. Well, where are those master territories at, just so that I can know?
So one is down in South Texas, and the other is up in Cincinnati. We'll just leave it at that. So those are not on the table right now, not available. We're looking for the right person. For the right person that can build a big business, that has capital and is ready to knock it out of the park, then we could make it happen for them.
Yeah. And for those of you who are experienced at this and have listened to me rattle on about some of the nuances to starting a business for the first time, this is for you. If you're looking at doing franchising, a lot of money is consolidated around and works well in and flows through better in a larger scale through a master program or an area development program where you can macro manage quite a bit more and essentially grow larger operations because that's what you're used to. That's the experience that I'm assuming he's talking about, because that is something that's required to handle large scale movement.
Different skill set. So we can write in we can do an amendment to the franchise agreement that says you have first rights of refusal on other territories that are surrounding you, so that you can protect that future master if you want it. But the reality is you may find out that you can do plenty good with just one territory. We've set it up that way on purpose. Yeah, we want you to be successful. If you're not successful as a franchise owner, we're not successful. We look bad. You drop out of the system. You're going to lose money. We're losing money. It all falls apart. Franchising should be an upward spiral. You do good. We do good. The more we do, the more we can invest back into the system, the better you do, and on and on. So we can all win. That's what it's about. That's why I love franchising. Win-win for everybody.
And that's, and you got to be careful. And I'm going to tell people right now, you have to be careful about what you're looking at too, because there are companies that don't do well. There's
a lot of bad ones out there.
A lot of bad ones. A lot of good ones though. There's a lot of good ones. And
that's why we need you to walk them through that.
The general consensus in the military overall is that franchising is not just taboo, but a scam, and that it's multi-level marketing.
Dude, it's like 80% of the retail dollars in the U.S. come through franchising. There's no scam about it.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, there's a lot of scammers out there, but
true.
That's why they're using you, so that you can guide them to the good companies.
We looked at the fact that thought entrepreneurship was a way. It was something for dreamers, and that really didn't work out, and the economy's bad, and you're just going to end up flipping burgers at McDonald's. It's just not the way that it works. It's quite the opposite. And I hope, and through this I feel, that more vets will start to realize that and that more people just in general will realize that this is the way we can make our country, our economy much, much better, by becoming and stepping into that small business role and stepping into making money for ourselves and generating it for ourselves, and taking a larger scale and a larger part in our own communities by generating, local revenue, as well as, and continuing the process and scaling of local revenue, and being able to just have the flexibility to be that parent, be that person, take vacations, have a good life. There's so much less of that nowadays than there was. And, I think we need to kind of get back to that. So overall,
because payrolls have not risen for people for like the last 30 years.
Right.
Like personal income's not going up. It's going down relative. I mean, my wife is an accountant for a ski company here in Colorado. She just got a 12-cent raise. I mean, what the hell do you do with 12-cent raise? That's like $500 a month or a year or something like that. It was silly. Yeah, it was $5 a week is what her raise was.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
My wife did. Same thing. It works for a call center down here, and things are hard as you get out of the military, and that's cool. But man, when you look at being employed, if you're employed and you like being employed and you like working for somebody else and you just like that.
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
Hands off to you.
Hey,
hands off to you.
Why do you think they don't make the windows in the skyscrapers open? So they don't want people jumping out after a bad day of work. They force you to take the elevator to the ground floor before they let you outside.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, man. But overall, man, to leave this off and finish this off, what I'd like to do is I'd like to know, do you have any incentives for veterans, women stepping into business?
Sure.
Do you have something for teachers? Do you have something? What are your special programs, and how can these people take advantage of it?
Sure. So all the groups that you mentioned, we do offer a 10% discount off of the franchise fee. Okay. So that's a pretty good discount.
Yeah.
And I know that you offer some one-on-one coaching. Is that right for folks that are transitioning? So, anything that we can do to help, and I'll say we do have some other call it incentives, if you will, but I'm not going to put it out here on the the World Wide Web. I'll leave it at this: that for the right people, we don't want finances to be the roadblock. And we've got some creative ways to help folks out that are going to be successful people. They just don't have as much money as they would like to. I mean, but I tell you what, there's a whole lot more people that would make great business owners if we just threw them a bone and gave them a chance. So we want to help out those folks, especially our military folks. They are great candidates, open book, are used to the structure, used to receiving guidance, receiving direction, and then executing. And you're probably used to getting up early in the morning and going to work. So even better.
Well, I'll tell you what though, since I've owned my own business, man, it's been hell hard to get up at the times I used to. I used to wake up at 4:30 every morning for 8 years.
You probably don't have to jump out and do push-ups either, right?
No.
You just jump in your computer.
I just jump into my computer. I walk across my living room, go into my office.
It's part of the flexibility, man. People don't understand how many different ways and how I don't want to say easy, because it's not easy. I mean, you got to work. You got to work.
Yeah.
There's so much money out there in running your own business. People just don't understand that. Whether it's painting, whatever it is. I just want people, like I said, painting's not for everybody. I just want people to make a decision to get out and own their own business. And hopefully it is painting, because I know that the guys do really well. And I know the passion that we have within the organization to really provide the guidance and help people, do the best that they can in business. But again, it's not for everybody. Find something that works for you. Don't overthink it. Make sure Alex signs off on it as being a great opportunity, and just go, just jump and get to work. Amazing things will happen within that year.
Yeah. And this is a thing. And Chris, I appreciate your time and your effort and the availability that you've made to hopping on this show and being able to reach out to folks. It really is something that Chris is passionate about, that I'm passionate about. and it's being in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And that's the franchise motto. I think everybody's heard that, and turnkey system. Some of these things are a little bit more turnkey than others. It just doesn't magically appear out of a box. But it's definitely something that you have to take into consideration. And when you think franchise, think process, because that's what you're going to go through. With me, with anybody, you are going to go through a learning process. You're going to go through a screening process, and you're going to go through a finance process and a discovery process. They've got a discovery day. Almost everybody's got a discovery day. But what you've got to realize is that this can be information overload. If you tackle this by yourself, which is another reason I made these videos, because not everybody wants help. Not everybody. I'm telling you that this is why I made this video, is for those of you who really want to find a good bird's eye view of things and not walk around feeling your way through a maze and slamming your face into every wall every time you pick up a phone and try and call a franchisor.
Yeah. We're evil things.
They're busy. Yeah. They're running a business, and they're busy. So having a network and having that is what we provide as franchise brokers. Is what I provide as a franchise broker. I provide a bird's eye view,
buffer,
definitely a buffer from nonsense that's going to come your way, particularly those things that are not quite reputable. But mostly is to help educate you a little bit between some of the things that are out there, some of the things that are good, bad, and ugly. Some things, there are pros and cons to everything, but you got to know what fits you.
Yep.
So overall, Stoner Franchising is here to help you. But at the end of the day, if you need to get on and learn something, I'm making these YouTube videos available for you so that you can get your bird's eye view, and get context to what these labels actually mean. You know what? My wife could not be more pissed off that I get to stay at home and work on my computer and have breakfast with the kids and walk the kids to school and do all this stuff, because she was a stay-at-home mom while I was in the Army.
There you go.
Not that anymore. I'm the stay-at-home dad, and that's where we go. And man, she could not be more upset sometimes when she comes home from a really long day of work. So I'll tell you guys this, who've been working for a very long time. It's a very self-gratifying thing to start something yourself, to see that money roll in the door, and finally be able to have self-security. Not just financial.
You're not getting fired. You've got thousands of clients.
You got thousands of clients. You can create your own business structure. You've got employees. You can do what you want to do, and you can be creative in doing it. Yep. You follow the rules of a franchise, you're going to make some money. More than likely, you're going to make some money. If you find the right one that meshes with you, you're going to do well. You should do well. If you pick the right one, it's all your decision at the end of the day, and you're always assuming risk. But if you never take risk, if you never try and challenge yourself, you'll never know what potential you'll ever amount to. So you're literally, if you're not moving forward, you're dying. And they used to say that to us. If you're not moving forward, you're dying. So think about what you're doing, follow through with it. But if you're trying to find what you're looking for, please contact me. And you can call me at 912-271-5748. I'll list it for you. Follow these links here, and they'll help guide you through what you want to do, and we'll be here for you. And if I can't help you because you either don't like my face, or I don't have enough corporate experience, or you just don't like military people, I've got partners that have worked years in corporate America who have years on me, and will tell you the exact same thing I will, and you can be more than willing to work with them because they're good partners. We've got people across several markets, several industries that will work with you and will help you. Don't be afraid to pick up the phone. Don't be afraid to reach out to people. Don't be afraid to ask for help. But at the end of the day, if you want to take things on alone, watch some more franchise talk, get that bird's eye view, and share us on social media, share us on Twitter, Vine, whatever you're on, and we'll be there to help. All right, take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching Franchise Talk. Please subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to like and share us on social media. We are committed to assisting you so that you find franchises without the frustrations of internet searching and sites selling your information before you even get a chance to talk to franchises. If you want to simplify your life and have someone to facilitate your information collection, I'm here to be your personal resource and one-on-one coach. If you would like to be a guest on the show, to ask franchise bigwigs questions, or contact me for franchise support, check out for my contact information below down in the description. Thanks for watching.